just like a clinging vine. Your lips so warm and sweet as wine. Your cheeks so soft and close to mine. Divine.
And good morning and welcome to another early morning record show. And welcome to I guess this is my living room in my kid's basement. Yes, I am now a basement dweller. Real quick, because I don't want this thing to go on too long, the beginning footage. Aiden walked for the very first time and he walked to Grandpa. I was there and we're just out there playing together and suddenly he walked over to me and I saw first steps. So hey, that's really what I wanted. I was just praying that I could see this, and so really excited about that. Started working for my kid on Monday, so I retired 2 days, began learning a new business, learning about, hey, how do we do invoicing? How do we do this? Let's get this organized. Yep, so kind of fun there. And Kat is feeling much better. For those of you that have been asking, yes, Kat's on the comeback and driving my wife absolutely nuts at home. So our sisters are there. We just had a big garage sale or moving sale, trying to sell off stuff. But it'll be still at least another month before she probably gets out here. So yeah, that's about it. I just want to give you a quick update. Third Man Record Processing Plant. If you haven't checked out that video I did on Thursday, it is absolutely fascinating. It's going to be 3 parts. The next part, we're really looking at quality control, how they do quality control, and looking at packaging, and also more about coloring of vinyl and what they do. Just a wonderful place. And yes, it's very, very yellow, as many people have noticed. That place is really yellow. That's Jack White's color. So hey, let's get on. Let's show some records now. I even got a record in the mail already. I think I've had 3 records in the mail. So yes, they're coming. Thanks, everyone. Have a great one, and on with some records. And welcome. It's the Early Morning Sunday Show. I'm a proud member of the He-Man proud man of the He-Man Woman Haters Club. Yeah. Must have put alcohol in that. Oh, man. One of my oldest mugs. You know, we're getting ready to move, as you can see. It's all empty now. My wife goes, well, you gotta decide what mugs you want to get rid of. And I go, oh, mugs, man, I love my mugs. I love all my mugs. I mean, I have a lot of mugs, but they're like my family. I don't know. That's gonna be tough to get rid of a mug. Okay, well, we got some records. I don't have a co-host today. He has not been feeling good. He's been kind of hiding, not eating or drinking for a day. So we're kind of seeing what's going on here. Don't know what's up with the co-host. But, yep, some great records. And let's take a look. And we're going to start with... I'd recently seen these guys in concert. They came to Midland. These guys, what's one? Well, there's a whole band here. Benack III, not the first, not the second. It is Benack III. Look at that, nice autographed copy to Steve. That would be me, your host right now. And here we go. Benny is he must be a trumpeter. He has trumpet, jazz. He does played a lot of standards. And it was quite good. It was I wasn't sure, I don't mind standards, but it's like, okay. And I went to it, and it was a great concert. Really good concert. The players, I think there was a group of about 5, maybe 6. Almost all of them had, I think 6, almost all of them had albums, newer ones. And so obviously they're very skilled at what they did, and it was just a great night. Well, Benny, he put this out. He was the only one to have one out in LP form. He's from Pittsburgh, born in 1990. So it was like the age of just 1 year younger than my youngest. So yeah, I should have called, hey son, I could have said that. American jazz trumpeter, singer, composer. He, at age 5, he was playing piano, but by age 9 decided, I'm going to play the trumpet, and he did. And obviously, he's quite good at it. So, Third Time's a Charm, which is his third album that he's put out, and this came out in 2023. You know, the title track itself is this jazzy, swinging number. Sounds, I mean, it's just fun. It just gets you going like this, you know, and really takes off in a great way. He does I'll Never Fall in Love Again, and just does a beautiful, lovely, very loyal rendition of that Burt Bacharach song. He does bring in different guest vocalists and instrumentalists. For instance, Bria Skonberg, who was part of that band, and there is her. She was in here too. Another trumpet. And so they would trade off playing their songs back and forth. She autographed it, but her stuff is pretty black and dark. Borders hard to see unless she wrote on her face, and that's an awful pretty face to have to write on. So that probably would not have been good. Also in her in that band that night was Jolene Gould, and she's from Canada. I wonder if she's one of the relations of the pianist Gould. I don't know, but she smiled the whole time. Very, very nice there. So both of them nice, were nice enough to autograph. Afterwards, you could go do that. It's kind of fun. I already mentioned this in another opening when I originally showed these, but we were able to go into the VIPs a lounge afterwards and get to meet them. Now, we weren't on the list or anything, but my wife had been working there that night at the Fine Arts Center, and so she just went up to the person on the list and was, hey, would you let these people in? The other two people I were with were both musicians. One's a teacher in the Flint School District, and music teacher. The other, he was a teacher at Mott College, but also he had his own jazz combo. Kind of fell apart after during COVID. So for them to come in was great. Everybody in the band was easy to talk to. A lot of fun. This was good. So this really, Benny has this nice crooning voice. Sounds really wonderful. And the whole album is just finger snapping, enjoyable. And it's about, you can tell he's just having fun. And it is. It's a wonderful sounding album. I really had a good time. It was nice meeting these people, getting a chance to talk to them, and of course buying their stuff. So yeah, really, really happy to have that Benack III.
So don't be doubting the wisdom I'm espousing. I really mean no harm. 'Cause I may have been wrong, but I learned all along. Third time's the charm.
How about a little alt rock? The Breeders. I wish this was an original, but it's not. It's a recent reissue. Last Splash. Kim Deal's group out of Dayton, Ohio. Formed in 89, the group. Broke up in 95. Reformed in 08. Kim and Kelly Deal are in it. Josephine Wiggs, Jim McPherson. This group, this album blew up. I mean, not in a bad way. Blew up as in a great way. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, it was formed originally by Kim Deal and Tanya Donnelly of the Throwing Muses. Of course, Kim Deal of the Pixies. They formed the group because both their groups, they felt that they were not being allowed to give them enough songs. They were being shut out as far as songwriting, and they wanted to put out their own music, and so they formed this group. And it was true. I know, Kim Deal definitely was being shut down, and obviously Donnelly too. So they put out their first album, Pod. But after that, Tanya Donnelly left. And again, she was feeling now that Dale was kind of taking over and shutting her off, and she left. Now, when they started, they had 3 guitarists. One of them was Kelly Deal that came in, Kim's sister. The thing is, Kelly didn't even know how to play guitar, so they had to teach her how to play guitar. Well, after Donnelly, they put out Pod, Donnelly left, the other guitarist left. Suddenly, Kelly Deal, the girl that didn't know how to play guitar, is the lead guitarist. Well, she had to practice. Well, the Breeders, they took off full-time in 93. The Pixies broke up in 93. And so this became their full-time band. And the next album they put out, which came out in 93, was this, Last Splash. And it had the hit Cannonball. And Cannonball blew up. I mean, it became like, this group, these ladies and men, became alt-rock superstars overnight. Pixies couldn't do it. Pixies never had that happen. But people loved this, the music off this, and they just went through the stratosphere. And of course, Cannonball is just packed with hooks. I mean, incredible hooks. Great bass lines on there from McPherson. You think, what could the Pixies have done if they let Deal do more? Hey, some of the best Pixie songs are written by Kim Deal. And so you could see her letting this all out. There's Divine Hammer, a song on here. It's just flirty pop perfection. Flipside has this surf pop vibe going on. Now, I'm using the word pop a lot because it is. I mean, it's alt rock, but it's catchy. Very catchy. I mean, it's just filled with apocalyptic power pop. Apocalyptic power pop. Yeah, there we go. I think that's a t-shirt. Just wonderful album. Really happy. Had it on CD before, so happy to get it on vinyl. Third Man Records. They gave me this when I was there after the tour, and it's from Thad Jones. It is from the Blue Note reissues, 313 series. Third Man, obviously, the colors on the labels are different. This is different because it is actually black. And if you remember, a lot of these other ones had special colors. I don't think there's any insert on here. They really make a heavy cardstock. Really nice. So Thaddeus Jones, you can call him Thad though, born in Pontiac, and 23 to 86, trumpeter, composer, band leader. He has been said to be one of the all-time great jazz trumpet soloists. That good. His family came from a family of 10. That's a lot. Can you imagine dinner time? That's a lot of people. I mean, it must be very noisy there. And it was a very musical family. So there was stuff happening all over the house. Hank and Elvin, his brothers, of course, went on for great fame. And I've shown an Elvin Bishop and Elvin Jones one already. So from 54 to 63, well, I guess I should say, he was self-taught on trumpet, and by age 16 began to play professionally. So 54 to 63, he was playing with Count Basie. And, but he was doing other stuff on the side, but he's kind of full-time with Count Basie. After 63, he just says, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing. He became an arranger, composer, and, had his own group. But even Basie, at times, he would break off and do his own thing. And this is one of the first. Detroit, New York Junction. This came out in 56. And it was the first album he did for Blue Note. Well, Third Man's doing it because it's Detroit. And he's from Pontiac, a northern suburb of Detroit. So that's the connection why Third Man is doing this. And on here, they used Detroit musicians. Kenny Burrell is on guitar, and his guitar sounds great. The album itself, it is driving hard bop. Fantastic stuff. Tariff, the song Terrified, it just swings. It swings over hard, and there's just these phenomenal solos happening. The one thing on here, I mean, these people, they're allowed to solo. They're having fun with it. Sounds great. You have Blue Room, very melodic song, very relaxing. Scratch, that song, it's over 10 minutes. It just keeps going. It's just a mid-tempo, hard bop, fun, enjoyable listen. In fact, the whole album, this was extremely enjoyable. I would have missed it. I would not have bought it. I just, Thad. How could it be good? The guy's name's Thad. That's not a name you normally hear. Sometimes, you just have to decide, well, I'm not buying it because I don't like your name. Not that I'm sure he's a nice guy, but so happy I have this. This is really, really good. Thad Jones, Detroit, New York, Junction. Really good. There, and I bought this when I was at Third Man Records. We have Martin Solés and Los Primos. And Martin Solés, he was born in San Antonio in 29, but he was a migrant worker. In 1942, he was up in Michigan doing migrant farm work and eventually settled in Detroit. While there, he played what's called the bajo sieto, and it's like a 12-string bass. And it's very popular in Conjuncto music. In fact, he got with an accordionist named Manuel Riviera, and they were playing Conjuncto around Detroit because Detroit had a very large Latin community and a very huge Mexican-American community. During his lifetime, he released no records, nothing. But even though he released no records, he was in 2018 was put into the Tejano Roots Hall of Fame. So, special for Mexican music. So even with no records, he was put into the Hall of Fame in 2018, and he died in 2019. Now you can see on here the band. There is two saxophone players, a drummer, and of course there is the bajaceto. I believe that's how it's pronounced. I don't know. But he did produce. You say, well, Steve, you have an album. He put out no albums, and that's correct. After he died, his son was Frank. He was cleaning out the attic, and in the attic there's a grocery bag just sitting there. So he looks in the grocery bag, and it's a reel-to-reel tape. He goes, well, this is interesting. He brings it down to Third Man Records, and brings it to the production manager down there, Eddie Gillis. And Eddie Gillis gave me my tour of Third Man Records, and he was so excited about this album, just, because this was undiscovered music, never been out for the public, and here it was. And so he brought these tapes to Jack White, says, look, this was found in Detroit. Jack White got excited, well, we got to put this out. And they did. And so here we have it, Conjunto music. Really, this is like a historical document. Really interesting. Now, is that music maybe for everyone? No. But is it for Steve? Yes. Very enjoyable. The saxes, I have a couple saxes going on. It gets a little squawky at times, but great stuff. It just really, you can feel it. You can feel the love that's going on with the music, and it's exciting that Third Man did it. And there he is, Martin Solés, and his group, Los Primos, the Cousins. Great stuff. From there, let's go to power punk. Power punk, baby. Picked this up down in Lansing, Michigan. There it was on the wall. The very first Undertones. I have never had their first album. So super exciting. Look at that. It was an original, the inner sleeve, which is in good shape. And we have off Sire Records, the Undertones. Excuse me. So they're from Northern Ireland, formed in 74, broke up in 83, reformed in 99, supposedly still going on. Punk, power pop, new wave, that's kind of where they all fit in. And they put out, there were five friends that got together and let's form a band. Influences when they started were the Beatles and the Small Faces. And the vocalist, Feargal, F-E-A-R, Fear, G-A-L, Gal, I don't know, Feargal. Sharkey, he was a Boy Scout leader. How about that? So, yes, their lead singer, Boy Scout leader, and he's also a TV repairman. So, he used the TV repair van to bring the band around, to bring the band in the van. And so that's what they did. They originally called themselves the Hot Rods, then they found out, oh, someone else has it. We have to change our name. So they thought, let's call ourselves the Little Feet. Oh, someone else has that name. All right, let's change our name again. One of the band, I believe it was the drummer, said, why not the Undertones? He had heard that he read that in a history book. So the Undertones is what they became. And the rest is history. Well, and so they're playing, I told you what their influences were. Well, in 76, suddenly they heard the Adverts. They heard the Sex Pistols. They heard the Buzzcocks. Time to change. What they were playing was not going to make them into music. And so they pivoted. And really what they did is they began making 3-chord pop punk in 2 minutes. And wonderful songs. And this album, I guess goes, look at that. Oh, okay. This album really took off. It had 3 hits on here, but 2 of them, one, Teenage Kicks is on like every compilation. And then you get Overuse on here. They do a wonderful thing of Jenny's on here. It just, it's wonderful. Teenage Kicks is about the it's a declaration of teenage love. You got Girls Don't Like It, which is filled with this frantic energy happening. There are 13 songs on here, and it's like perfect pop punk. This is an outstanding album. It is really, it's just, if you like Buzzcocks, this is good. His voice is a little different. I mean, okay, it's not, shall we say, a typical, oh wow, that's a great voice, but it's punk, so hey, you get what you get. Really great album. This, I have the next Undertones album, but this is the one that got them started, and just delighted to be able to get this thing. It has a little punch out here. Yeah, that's the way it is. From there, let's move to Peru, because Peru has great stuff. And we have Corazón Amazonica from the Los Mirlos, Heart of Amazon. So, Los Mirlos started, they're from Peru, and formed in 72. And I believe broke up in, was it 03? No, might have been 13. I don't remember. No, they're still going. Duh. This album actually came out fairly recently, so they are still happening right now. And this is Peruvian cumbia music with psych rock is definitely in there, along with kind of a surf. Their influences was cumbia, surf, and psych rock. And Peru had incredible psych rock. Back in 72, there was some amazing stuff coming out of there. Corazon Amazonico is their 33rd album. 33rd album. This came out in 2018. I picked this up when I was down in San Juan, Puerto Rico, at that record store. That's how long I've had it to show. Believe me, that's how a lot of these are. It is filled with fuzzy guitars, fuzzy, very psych type guitars with Latin percussion rhythms. Heavy on the Latin percussion rhythms, so you get that feel. They're not embarrassed to use cowbell. Give me more cowbell is part of this. You can just hear boom, boom, boom. It's just a going and a going and a going. Sounding great. Music has a very upbeat, joyful sound to it, and the guitars are great. They're fuzzy. It's wonderful. You could dance all night in the Amazon to this. This is dance music. It's made to dance in the Amazon. Really good. Some of the members are getting a little older, some new, younger. You have to just keep changing with the times. So, still going. 33 albums later. Corazon Amazonico from Los Mirlos. Final album, which is worth a sip of coffee. We have Joanna Newsom out of California, born in 1982. Singer, songwriter, actress, and classically trained on the harp. When she was growing up, her parents wouldn't let her watch TV, and she could not listen to the radio. They were both doctors, but they were very progressive, and so they were doing their own thing. But both her parents were musicians. And so, there was definitely music. Her father played guitar. There's nothing special in here. I'm making sure. Her father played guitar, and her mother was classically trained pianist, but she played the auto harp, she played the hammered dulcimer, and she played the congas. And so, mom plays congas. How cool is that? Kids get into that. At age 5, she said, well, I'm going to play the harp. And thus she did. And she has put out 4 albums. This was her last one called Divers. And this came out in 2015. And this deals with the reckoning with death, the impending doom of the loss of love. This is a real downer, man. I mean, it's about death. And it's from such a young person. But it's about how when you get married, she says, marriage, she must have recently been married, marriage invites death into the house because now there is someone that you can't live without. And so suddenly death becomes bigger. Interesting, right? Her vocals. When I first, I did not know. I knew the name. I thought, okay, I know this name. I'm buy this. And those vocals were, I just, oh my God, I couldn't even listen to the first side. I'd stop. I just said, wow. I don't know if I can handle this. They're high. It makes Kate Bush sound like almost like an alto. I mean, it's just, it's weird. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the harp playing is, it's harp, but it's good in there. I don't mind that. But I've sat back and I've listened to it and I've taken more time with it. The instrumentation going on is pretty good. I really, really like that. The vocals are hard for me to swallow. Some of the music has blues, some folk, classical. It's all mixed in here. And again, it's just about outrunning time and outrunning death. It's really what it's about. It's very complex, kind of a nuanced music. Wasn't the easiest thing, but I survived and I did it. So, Joanna Newsom, divers. Not for the faint of heart. Or someone, if you're dying, you may not, I don't know if you want to listen to it. Bummer. That's it for this week. What we got, and hope you enjoyed. Next batch of records up there. Trying to get through these. I don't think I'll get through them before the move, but we're working at it. So thanks for hanging out with me. Everyone have a great week. Bye.